Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to use one traveler's notebook insert to make two, and I'm just showing you some examples of one I made before this video. When I took the papers out, I inserted some vellum sheets to give it more texture and contrast, and I just liked it, and I just took the paper out of that notebook there. There's 16 sheets in it, so I took 8 sheets and added 4 pieces of vellum. This is my fall traveler's notebook. You can see this is the one I'm going to replicate today, and I just put a cover page on there with a happy planner sticker, and there's 8 sheets in this one as well that I took out from a previous notebook. And I left the side open so I could insert something in there if I wanted to. So those are just the 3 kind of notebooks that I'm using as examples. I've got a stapler to take the staples from, a ruler and scissors, and a 12 by 12 piece of paper. And that last notebook is the paper I'm going to be taking the notebook I'll be taking the paper out. So you can see I'm showing you this is 21 centimeters. I took a 12 by 12 piece of paper and I cut it down to 21 centimeters because that's the height or length of the notebook. And I'm going to use all of that. So you'll see how I do that. So this is a Traveler's Company insert, so I'm loosening the staples. Right here I use my fingernails and the ruler, whichever is easier. And I'm going to count out 8 sheets of paper. There's 16 sheets in these notebooks, so I'm going to count out 8. And I will pull that out and close the notebook back up, folding the staples back down so I can still use the paper that's in here. Because I'm trying to take one insert and make it into 2. So what I'm doing now is I'm kind of lining it up, and I'm going to leave a little lip, and you'll see that in a second why I'm doing that. But I'm trying to get a general idea of where I want the spine of the notebook to be. So I've just folded it there, and you can see I've made it 12 centimeters. This is the back end of the notebook. I've made it 12 centimeters, and I didn't measure it beforehand, but when I took the ruler to it, it turned out perfect. And I like the way that it turns out in the end. So if you want to write that down, right there, I just took 2 staples, unfolded out of my stapler, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to line it up against the paper and the spine of the notebook, and I'm going to punch these 2 staples through the paper. I'm sure there's an easier way. If you've got a brad setter, I guess you could use that, but I wanted these holes to be super small and fine because I don't want the cover to kind of pull and stretch if I made the hole too big. So I'm just using the staple to do that. I'm pushing it through the center out of the outside of the spine, and I'll take the staples back out and push them through the other way to set the notebook down. So you can see that's what I'm doing now. I'm just pushing the staple out through the center. I'm going to take them right back out and push them through in the opposite direction. Just so, like I said, so I can keep the holes as small as possible. So like I was saying earlier, the back cover of the notebook is going to be 12 centimeters. I just want to reiterate that. That's not the front flap of the notebook. That'll be the back end. So I fast forwarded a little bit and cut it out so you didn't have to see me struggle to get all these pages in. It's really not that hard. I just didn't want 2 minutes of me pushing paper through on the staples. And I'm just setting the staples closed again with the back end of my stapler so I can save my fingertips. And make sure you get them really flat because in this video I do snag my finger against one of the staples. I didn't get it flat enough, and I've got a pretty good slice in my finger. So just a cautionary tale, please remember to flatten those staples really well. So you can see right here this angle. I didn't notice it when I was making the movie, but it's kind of crooked. In the end, it doesn't matter. You won't notice. But just remember to try to get it as straight as possible. I'm just using some super strong red tape adhesive, and I'm putting it on the back end of the notebook. So I can keep the end of this notebook kind of folded over and kind of clean. I like the way it looked. The first time I made it, I accidentally made the paper too long the first time and just thought it would be easier to fold it over rather than try to cut it straight. And in the end, I actually like the way it looks. I like this paper a lot, so I wanted to save as much as possible. So when I was redoing this notebook, I said I'm going to make the attempt to fold it over again to give it that nice clean look. So on the front half of the notebook, I'm going to be creating that folder, that secretarial pocket that I did in the original. And I'm just figuring out the right place I need to fold it. I didn't measure it. I'm sorry. I don't have any proper measurements. If you're going to try to recreate this on your own, just do exactly what I'm doing and just kind of feel it out. And right there is when I cut my finger pretty good. So I'm flattening that staple out. But yeah, so I'm just folding that piece of paper right there really well so I can put the tape down and cut it to give it that secretarial pocket look, the angle. It kind of takes me a while to decide exactly how low down I want to cut it. I just love this paper so much that I didn't really want to waste too much of it, and so I'm kind of just sitting here hemming and hawing over it, and I pull my original notebook out to see how I did it there, and in the end, I like the way I originally did it. I like this one too. I feel like I saved a lot more of the paper with this one, which is fine. It's all personal preference. I wasn't going for perfection here. I was just going for done. So yeah, that the way it turns out is how I like it. And when you do this, if you want to do it, if you choose to do so, you can do it however you like. So I do want to apologize. The light changing, we've got some crazy weather going on right now in Florida. We've got a huge hurricane coming our way, and the thunderstorms are going to be pounding us all week. So if we do get hit by Irma, the ground is going to be so already soaked by the time it gets here. I'm really worried about that. But we had a thunderstorm blowing through, and that's what was going on. The light changing was going crazy. So anyway, rambling done. I put the tape down. I wanted to make sure I didn't put any on the side, and I didn't. I just put it on the bottom half, and I'm going to remove it there and stick it down, and the notebook is done, essentially. I mean, if I could make a cover page like I did on the other one, but I didn't. In the end, I like the way it is, and I don't know what I'm going to use it for, but I like it. I love the way it turned out, and I'm going to keep it just the way it is. So you can see here my other examples and the notebook right there that I took the MD paper out of. And my original one, I really like the way that turned out. And then this one that I added the vellum in, the process would be the exact same. You would just add in vellum cut down to the notebook that you're going to be creating, whatever size that may be. So I hope you like this process. I hope it was kind of easy to follow. That notebook right there I'm just showing you is the notebook that I took the paper out of. If you have any questions, leave them down below. And if not, make sure you're a subscriber, and I'll catch you next time. Bye, friends.